Welcome to Life Lessons from Dog. I'm Kari Solberg. For over a decade, I've been in the trenches of the dog world. From fostering rescues to running a full-time training and daycare facility, I've learned that the most profound truths often don't come from books or classrooms. They come from the dogs themselves. They teach us about patience, about trust, about the quiet, powerful presence of being in the moment. And today, I want to talk about something that often gets overlooked, especially when life feels chaotic or uncertain. Joy. Not the over-the-top, picture-perfect kind, but the kind that sneaks up on you in ordinary moments. The kind that reminds you what it feels like to really be alive. And of course, I want to tell you about one dog in particular who embodies this in her whole being, and her name is Eden. Eden is my Alaskan Malamute, and she is, quite simply, a bundle of joy wrapped in fur. From the moment she joined my life, she's brought a sense of lightness that's impossible to ignore. Whether it's her ridiculously floofy tail wags, her signature woo-woo conversations, or her eagerness to leap into action, Eden doesn't tiptoe into life. She charges head first, tail wagging, and ready to go. One of my favorite things about her is how ready she always is. You could say bath or hike in the same tone, and she would respond with the same enthusiasm. Because to her, both are adventures. Both are worth getting excited about. And I think there's something to learn there. So often, we reserve our joy for things that feel big or special, or Instagram-worthy. But dogs don't do that. They don't wait for the right moment to be joyful. They find it in the now. A walk? Joy. Dinner? Joy. You glancing in their direction? Joy. I've come to believe that joy finds us in the most unexpected places, especially when we release our grip on perfection and open ourselves to the present moment. I'm reminded of a time where Eden demonstrated this lesson in the most delightful way. Eden isn't exactly what comes to mind when people think of a competitive obedience dog. She's an Alaskan Malamute, after all, a breed known more for their independence and strong opinions than their eagerness to follow rules. Malamutes are free spirits. They're more likely to raise an eyebrow at authority than fall in line with it. But Eden, she's always been a little bit different. Even as a puppy, I could tell she genuinely enjoyed working with me. She didn't just tolerate it, but she really enjoyed it. So I leaned into that. I built her training around what sparked her excitement, what made her tail wag and eyes light up. And in doing so, she pushed me to grow too. I had never been interested in competitive obedience before Eden. Honestly, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but she made me want to try. Our first trial came with all the nerves you'd expect. We fumbled through the early exercises with what I'll lovingly call humble enthusiasm. I was flustered, unsure of ring procedures, and pretty sure we weren't blowing anyone away. But then came the sit-stay. In beginner novice, the handler places the dog in a sit in the center of the ring, and then walks the full perimeter and back to their dog. It's a test of trust and impulse control, a stretch for any dog, but especially a Malamute. I gave Eden the stay command, took a deep breath, and started walking. About 3/4 of the way around, I heard the judge call out, "Exercise finished." I froze, turned around, and there she was. Eden was joyfully trotting beside me in a perfect heel position, tail up, head high, radiating pride. She had calmly left her stay, tracked me around the ring, and joined me like we were out on one of our regular walks. And in that moment, I couldn't be mad. Because while we may have earned an NQ, what I saw was a dog so connected to me, so thrilled just to be by my side, that she simply couldn't imagine doing anything else. It was joy. Unfiltered, undeniable, completely unbothered by protocol. And I've come to realize that's what matters most. Eden's unexpected action was a beautiful reminder that joy isn't always about achieving perfection or meeting expectations. It's about embracing the present, finding happiness and togetherness, and celebrating the moments that don't go as planned but leave us with lasting smiles. I've come to believe that joy isn't something we stumble into. It's something we build, a muscle we strengthen by noticing. The more we tune into those little moments, the morning sun, a tail wag, the way your dog leans into your hand just so, the more our capacity for joy grows. And joy doesn't cancel out hard things. It's not the opposite of grief or struggle or exhaustion. It's what helps us move through them. There have been seasons of my life that were heavy, full of grief or transition. And even in those seasons, especially in those seasons, Eden has reminded me to look for what's still good. The little rituals, the belly laughs, the unexpected bursts of joy that show up when you're not looking for them. Dogs don't wait for the clouds to clear before they chase the sunbeam. They just go. You know, Eden's little stunt at that obedience trial? It got me thinking. Joy isn't just about those big, picture-perfect moments. It's about the small, everyday things that make us smile. And here's the kicker. Those tiny sparks of joy, they do more than just make us happy for a moment. They help us handle the tough stuff too. Studies have shown that when we let ourselves feel joy, even in small doses, it can actually lower our stress levels and boost our immune system. It's like our body's way of saying, hey, things might be rough, but here's a little boost to keep you going. And it's not just about feeling good physically. Sharing those joyful moments, like laughing at your dog's goofy antics or catching a beautiful sunset, can bring us closer to others. It's in these shared experiences that we build connections, and those connections can be a lifeline when times get tough. So watching Eden's unplanned dash across that ring, it was more than just a funny memory. It was a reminder to find and cherish those bits of joy in our daily lives. Because it's those moments that help us to navigate everything else. So here's my question for you. Where are you waiting for the right moment to feel joy? And what if you stopped waiting? What if you looked for joy exactly where you are? Not in a big win or a perfect day, but in the mess and movement of your everyday life. What would change if you treated joy not as a reward, but as a practice? This week, I challenge you to take 5 minutes each day to notice something joyful. Write it down if you can, and let it build. Because joy isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. And our dogs, they've known this all along. Eden teaches me every day that joy isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up with your whole self, tail wags, flaws, and all, and trusting that something beautiful can come from simply being here. So this week, don't wait for the perfect moment. Find your joy now. Because as our dogs show us again and again, it's already waiting for you. If this episode brought a smile to your face or reminded you of your own joyful pup, I'd love to hear about it. Come share your stories with me on Substack at lifelessonsfromdog.substack.com or on Instagram at Kari Solberg K9. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Thanks for being here, and thanks for choosing to practice the joy alongside me. I'll see you next time. Up next on Life Lessons from Dog. When's the last time you truly played? Not for a purpose, not as a reward, but just because it felt good. In the next episode, I'm exploring what happens when we lose touch with play, and what shifts when we finally let it back in. I'll share stories from dogs who came alive through social play, reflections from a season of burnout, and the lesson I learned when I realized I hadn't laughed in weeks. Play isn't optional, it's essential. And if you're feeling stuck, tired, or disconnected, this one might just be for you. I'll see you next time on Life Lessons from Dog.